DMR, a glossary of terms. Good evening. First off, I am not an expert, nor do I have any formal training in radio or electronics. However, I am an enthusiast of both radio and electronics. Given that, I welcome your corrections and comments. Please leave those below. The main purpose of this video is to decode the Wikipedia article about DMR. You see, I went and read this article, but found that I could not fully comprehend it. This is because I do not have the requisite knowledge. So my decision was to create a glossary of terms surrounding DMR. I created this video not because I am an expert, but rather because of my own ignorance. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope it helps you. Kindly asking, if you have stumbled across my video, please leave me a comment letting me know how you found it. Are you a student? Are you an engineer? Are you a ham? I'd be delighted to know who watches my video. Anyway, have a great day, and here goes. Digital mobile radio is an open digital mobile radio standard. Next definition, ETSI, E-T-S-I. The European Telecommunications Standards Institute is an independent, not-for-profit standardization organization in the telecommunications industry, equipment makers, and network operators in Europe. It's headquartered in Sophia Antipolis in France. Project 25, P25. That's the next definition. P25, or APCO 25, is a suite of standards for digital mobile radio communications designed for use by public safety organizations in North America. P25 radios are a direct replacement for analog UHF, example FM, radios, but add the ability to transfer data as well as voice, allowing for a more natural implementation of encryption or messaging. P25 radios are commonly implemented by dispatch organizations, such as police, fire, ambulance, and emergency rescue service, using vehicle-mounted radios combined with walkie-talkie handheld use. And more generally, it goes on to explain how P25 relates to trunking. And not to add too much of my own insight, but even listening to EMS here in my area, it's all trunked. I'm also going to provide a definition for trunking as well in this glossary. Okay, still talking about Project 25, or P25. It started around 2012, and products became available with the newer Phase 2 modulation protocol. The older protocol, known as P25, became P25 Phase 1. Next definition, Association of Public Safety Communications Officials International, otherwise known as APCO, was founded in 1935. It is the world's oldest and largest organization of public safety communications professionals and supports the largest U.S. membership base of any public safety association. Its headquarters is in Ohio, and I guess I made a note to self to include the web link just to show the website. Okay. Next definition, NXDN is an open standard for public land mobile radio systems. that is, systems of two-way radios, transceivers, for bidirectional, person-to-person voice communication exclusively for use by police, fire, ambulance, and other public safety organizations. It was developed jointly by ICOM Incorporated and Kenwood Corporation. It is an advanced digital system using FSK modulation that supports encrypted transmission and data as well as voice transmission. Once again, we're talking about NXDN. Like other land mobile systems, NXDN systems use the VHF and UHF frequency bands. NXDN is implemented by ICOM in their IDAS or IDAS system and by Kenwood as NEXEDGE, Next Edge. Both Kenwood and ICOM now offer dual standard equipment which supports the European DPMR standard. The European DPMR standard. ICOM and Kenwood began their collaboration in 2003. The NXDN protocol was announced in 2005, and NXDN compatible products first appeared in 2006. Next definition: multiband excitation, MBE, is a series of proprietary speech coding standards developed by Digital Voice Systems Incorporated, DVSI. And here's the history. In 1967, Osamu Fujimura at MIT showed basic advantages of the multiband representation of speech. This work gave a start to development of the multiband excitation method of speech coding that was patented in 1997 by founders of DVSI as multiband excitation, or rather MBE. All consequent improvements, known as improved multiband excitation, IMBE, advanced multiband excitation, AMBE, AMBE Plus, and AMBE Plus 2 are based on the MBE method. Again, multiband excitation. I'm going to read this first sentence. Multiband excitation is a series of proprietary speech coding standards developed by Digital Voice Systems. Time division, multiple access. This is the next definition. TDMA, or time division multiple access, is a channel access method for shared medium networks. It allows several users to share the same frequency channel by dividing the signal into different time slots. The users transmit in rapid succession, one after the other, each using its own time slot. This allows multiple stations to share the same transmission medium. Example, radio frequency channel, while using only part of its channel capacity. The Dmr interface is defined by the following ETSI standards. And I made a note to self to show a screen record of this ETSI protocol. I found it interesting, and it's almost a bit of an educational lesson in and of itself on DMR. And note to self to actually study that a little bit more. Okay, next definition. Channel spacing, also known as bandwidth, is a term used in radio frequency planning. It describes the frequency difference between adjacent allocations in a frequency plan. Channels for medium wave radio stations, for example, are allocated in internationally agreed steps of 9 or 10 kilohertz. 10 kilohertz in ITU Region 2, the Americas, and 9 kilohertz elsewhere in the world. Next definition. I actually made a video on this before. I'll try and leave that as a link in the description below. Frequency shift keying is a frequency modulation scheme in which digital information is transmitted through discrete frequency changes of a carrier signal. The technology is used for communication systems such as telemetry, weather balloon radio sondes, caller ID, garage door openers, and low-frequency radio transmission in the VLF and ELF bands. The simplest FSK is binary FSK, or rather BFSK. BFSK uses a pair of discrete frequencies to transmit binary, zeros, and ones information. With this scheme, the 1 is called the mark frequency, and the 0 is called the space frequency. Next definition, multipath propagation. In wireless telecommunications, multipath is the propagation phenomenon that results in radio signals reaching the receiving antenna by 2 or more paths. Causes of multipath include atmospheric ducting, ionospheric reflection and reflection from water bodies and terrestrial objects such as mountains and buildings. Multipath propagation causes multipath interference, including constructive and destructive interference, and phase shifting of the signal. Destructive interference causes fading. I think fading is almost worth a separate definition. That's a note to self. Where the magnitudes of the signals arriving by the various paths have a distribution known as the Rayleigh distribution, this is known as Rayleigh fading. Where one component, often but not necessarily a line of sight component, dominates, a Rayleigh distribution provides a more accurate model, and this is known as Rayleigh fading. Note to self to look up Rayleigh fading. Next definition, sort of on the same subject. Multipath interference is a phenomenon in the physics of waves whereby a wave from a source travels to a detector via 2 or more paths, and under the right condition, the 2 or more components of the wave interfere. Multipath interference is a common cause of ghosting in analog television broadcasts and of fading of radio waves. The condition necessary is that the components of the wave remain coherent throughout the whole extent of their travel. The interference will arise owing to the 2 or more components of the wave having, in general, traveled a different length as measured by optical path length, geometric length, and refraction, differing optical speeds, and thus arriving at the detector out of phase with each other. The signal due to indirect paths interferes with the required signal in amplitudes as well as phase, which is called multipath fading. Next definition, and actually this isn't something I've found a definition for, but I kind of created one here. The next definition is digital signal processing, DSP, a technology used to enhance analog FM audio quality. Again, the definition is digital signal processing. And the reason I created a definition is because the Wikipedia article on DMR kind of makes an argument for the advantages between DMR over analog signals. So I thought it was almost necessary to create a separate definition for this concept. That again is digital signal processing, DSP, a technology used to enhance analog FM audio quality. Next definition, spectral efficiency. Spectrum efficiency or bandwidth efficiency refers to the information rate that can be transmitted over a given bandwidth in a specific communication system. It is a measure of how efficiently a limited frequency spectrum is utilized by the physical layer protocol and sometimes by the media access control, the channel access protocol. The link spectral efficiency of a digital communication system is measured in bits per second or hertz, or less frequently but unambiguously in bits per second and hertz. I guess there's different units of measurement that almost seem like the same thing. It is the net bit rate, useful information rate, excluding error correcting codes, or maximum throughput divided by the bandwidth in hertz of a communication channel or a data link. Alternatively, the spectral efficiency may be measured in bit per symbol, which is equivalent to bits per channel use BPCU, implying that the net bit rate is divided by the symbol rate, modulation rate, or line code pulse rate. I don't want to add my input too much, but reading the Wikipedia article for DMR, I think DMR technology uses 4 symbols using an FSK. Well, you know what? I won't say too much, but that's a note to self to go back and look at that. Okay, next definition. Let's check my time. We're already at 20 minutes, 17 minutes. Dmr 446, private mobile radio, 446 megahertz, is a license-exempt service in the UHF radio frequency band and is available for business and personal use in most countries throughout the European Union. Well, not to add too much of my own insight, but having listened to a radio scanner and software-defined radio, I can agree that most workplace radio communications, at least for mobile use in like truck transport or even, local taxi and stuff, well, a lot of it's in the 400 megahertz band. Anyway, I better start this definition again. I'll begin quickly. Dmr 446, private mobile radio, 446 megahertz, is a license-exempt service in the UHF radio frequency band and is available for business and personal use in most countries throughout the European Union. Dmr 446 is typically used for small site, same building, and line of sight outdoor activities. Equipment. Okay, so this isn't really mobile car use. I stand corrected. Equipment used ranges from consumer grade to professional quality walkie-talkies, similar to those used for FRS/GMRS in the United States and Canada. Depending on surrounding terrain, range can vary from a few hundred meters in a city to a few hundred kilometers flat in the countryside to many kilometers from high ground. Historically, analog FM is used, but a digital voice mode has been available in radios conforming to Digital Private Mobile Radio DPMR 446 and Digital Mobile Radio DMR Tier 1 standards designed by ETSI. Originally, 8 channels were available in analog mode, but this has now been increased to 16 channels. Okay, so bottom line is that PMR 446 is kind of the European equivalent to the North American FRS, which is like the family radio spectrum, I think that stands for. Stand to look that up. And GMRS, which I understand is becoming more and more popular as far as a form of kind of hobby radio. Trunking. I included a definition of trunking here. In telecommunications, trunking is a method for a system to provide network access to many clients by sharing a set of lines or frequencies instead of providing them individually. This is analogous to the structure of a tree with one trunk and many branches. Examples of this include telephone systems and the two-way radios commonly used by police agencies. Trunking in the form of link aggregation and VLAN tagging has been applied in computer networking as well. A trunk is a single communications channel between 2 points, each point being either the switching center or the node. Terrestrial trunked radio, or TETRA. So this is the next definition. It's the definition for TETRA, terrestrial trunked radio. Formerly known as Trans-European Trunked Radio, which I guess is TETRA. So TETRA is a European standard for a trunked radio system, is a professional mobile radio and two-way transceiver specification. TETRA was specifically designed for use by government agencies, emergency services, police services, fire department, ambulance, for public safety networks, rail transport staff, for train radios, transport services, and the military. TETRA is a European version of trunked radio similar to Project 25. So TETRA is European, P25 is North American. TETRA is a European Telecommunications Standard Institute standard, or it's an ETSI standard, first version published in 1995. It is mentioned by the European Radio Communications Committee, the ERC. TETRA uses time division multiple access. Again, that's TDMA, something I think I had a definition for. TETRA uses time division multiple access with 4 user channels on one radio carrier and 25 kHz spacing between carriers. Both point-to-point and point-to-multipoint transfers can be used. Digital data transmission is also included in the standard, though at a low data rate. That completes the definition for TETRA. Next definition, Internet Protocol version 4. This doesn't relate to DMR so much, but it came up in the reading. Internet Protocol version 4, IPv4, is the 4th version of the Internet Protocol, or IP. It is one of the core protocols of standards-based internetworking methods in the Internet, and was the first version deployed for production of the ARPANET in 1983. It still routes most Internet traffic today. despite the ongoing deployment of a successor protocol, IPv6. IPv4 is described in IETF publication RFC 791 from September 1981, replacing an earlier definition from 1980. IPv4 is a connectionless protocol for use on packet-switched networks. Note to self to come up with a definition for packet-switched networks. I could probably use a lesson on that. It operates, IPv4, I'll read this again. IPv4 is a connectionless protocol for use on packet-switched networks. It operates on a best effort delivery model in that it does not guarantee delivery, nor does it assure proper sequencing or avoidance of duplicate delivery. These aspects, including data integrity, are addressed by an upper layer transport protocol, such as the Transmission Control Protocol, TCP. That's probably worth looking up to. Okay, the next bunch of definitions are a little bit more interesting. I've got the companies, or the businesses, the corporations that are using DMR technology in their products. So I've got, and it's not complete, it's not a complete list, it's just sort of the ones that are listed. Okay, again, this is just informational. I'm not promoting any particular product or corporation. Should be obvious by the fact that my video is pretty amateur. Okay, Tate Communications. Tate Communications is a multinational radio communications company with headquarters in Christchurch, New Zealand. The company has offices in 17 countries and employs 869 staff. That's as of 2011. Tate develops voice and data radio technologies, exporting about 95% of products from its Christchurch manufacturing base. Customers include London Buses, Country Fire Authority, and Basin Electric Power Cooperative. And the competitors are Motorola, Harris Corporation, E.F. Johnson Company, Raytheon, HYT, Celex, and EMC SPA. That is the definition for Tate Communications. Next definition, Motorola Incorporated. Well, I thought this was pretty important as it relates to DMR, so I'll include a definition of Motorola. Motorola Incorporated was an American multinational telecommunications company founded on September 25, 1928, based in Schaumburg, Illinois. After having lost $4.3 billion from 2007 to 2009, the company was subdivided into two independent public companies, Motorola Mobility and Motorola Solutions, on January 4th, 2011. Motorola Solutions is generally considered to be the direct successor to Motorola, as the reorganization has structured with Motorola Mobility being spun off. Motorola Mobility was sold to Google in 2012 and acquired by Lenovo in 2014. Motorola designed and sold wireless network equipment such as cellular transmission base stations and signal amplifiers. Motorola's home and broadcast network products included set-top boxes, digital video recorders, and network equipment used to enable video broadcasting, computer telephony, and high-definition television. Its business and government customers consisted mainly of wireless voice and broadband systems, used to build private networks and public safety communications systems like Astro and Dmr. These businesses, except for the set-top boxes and cable modems, are now part of Motorola Solutions. Google sold Motorola Home, the former General Instrument cable businesses, to the Aris Group in 2012 for $2.35 billion. Next definition: Hytera is a manufacturer of radio transceivers and radio systems. The enterprise was founded in Shenzhen, China in 1993 and operates on a global basis. Radio systems and radio solutions in compliance with the Dmr, Tetra, LTE, and MPT 1327 standard, as well as corresponding radio transceivers, range among the products of Hytera. Hytera is major contributor to the PDT standard. Note to self to look that up. PDT standard, which is designed for public safety organizations in China. Hytera ranks as the second largest global radio terminal manufacturer with a market share of 12.6%. Kenwood Corporation. Kabushiki Gaisha Kanudo is a Japanese company that designs... Okay, so this is the next definition. Kenwood Corporation is a Japanese company that designs, develops, and markets a range of car audio, hi-fi, home, and personal audio, professional two-way radio communications equipment, and amateur radio ham equipment. History. Established in 1946 as the Kasuga Radio Company Limited in Komagani City, Nagano Prefecture, Japan in 1960, the company was renamed Trio Corporation. In 1963, the first overseas office was founded in Los Angeles County, California, in the United States. In the early 1960s, Trio's products were rebranded by the Lafayette Radio Company, with a focus on citizens band radio. Next definition: ICOM Incorporated. Ikomu Kabushiki Gaisha, or ICOM, is an international manufacturer of transmitting and receiving equipment, founded in 1954 by Tokuzo Inui, with the company's original name being Inui, and I probably said that wrong. Its products now include equipment for radio amateurs, pilots, maritime applications, land mobile, professional applications, and radio scanner enthusiasts. A vocoder. A portmanteau of voice and encoder. I don't know what a portmanteau is. I've heard that before, I don't know what that means. One sec, that's worth looking up. Okay, that's maybe because I don't have one. A portmanteau is a large trunk or suitcase typically made of stiff leather and opening into two equal parts. And maybe it's a figure of speech. It's a word blending the sounds and combining the meanings of two others. For example, motel, from motor and hotel, or brunch, from breakfast and lunch. Okay, so like a vocoder is like a combination word. Okay, a vocoder, a combined word of voice and encoder, is a category of voice codec that analyzes and synthesizes the human voice signal for audio data compression, multiplexing, voice encryption, voice transformation, etc. The earliest type of vocoder, the channel vocoder, was originally developed as a voice codec for telecommunications applications in the 1960s. The idea being to code speech in order to conserve bandwidth for transmission. In the encoder, the input is passed through a multi-band filter. Then each band is passed through an envelope filter, and the control signals from the envelope filter or from the envelope followers are transmitted to the decoder. The decoder applies these amplitude control signals to corresponding amplifiers of the filter channels for resynthesis. So that basically explains a circuit. This is a little bit complex to put into words. Since these control signals change only slowly compared to the original speech waveform, the bandwidth required to transmit speech can be reduced. This allows more speech channels to share a single communication channel, such as a radio channel or a submarine cable. By encrypting the control signals, voice transmission can be secured against interception. Its primary use in this fashion is for secure radio communication. The advantage of this method of encryption is that none of the original signal is sent, only envelopes of the bandpass filters. The receiving unit needs to be set up in the same filter configuration to resynthesize a version of the original signal spectrum. The vocoder has also been used extensively as an electronic musical instrument. The decoder portion of the vocoder, called a voder, can be used independently for speech synthesis. Well, that was a little bit technical. Okay, that was my last definition, and there's some references to companies in the mobile radio business, or more specifically the digital mobile radio business, and that's HQT Solutions, Samhu, Sapura, and Somoko Wireless Solutions. I'm going to sneeze. Okay. And then also on the Wikipedia article, there's a list of DMR members, and that's on the DMR Association website, which I'll also include. So since I haven't created it yet, I can't really conclude this video, but the next bunch of videos, if I choose to add them, are going to be screenshot recorded videos of the various businesses I just mentioned. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, so this is me looking at these websites for the first time. So this is all new to me. I'm just recording it as I do this. So HQT is a company associated with DMR technology. Here I am on the main page. Here's an overview of the company. Established in 2005, Shenzhen, HQT Science and Technology Company Limited is specializing in developing and providing private network solutions. Milestones: in 2005, HQT was founded and developed its first two-way radio, the TH3608. Okay, so I actually looked up this particular radio. Why not? Here it is. The HQT TH3608 is a very useful two-way radio for routine communication and dispatching. It has a big list of features: good quality, clear voice, large talk range, stable performance, it's ergonomic, etc. It mentions some of the things I just covered in my definitions, including channel spacing, talking again about the 25 kHz and /12.5 kHz optional channel spacing, I guess complying with different regions. Okay, so this radio got a CE certificate. In 2011, HQT was awarded the Software Enterprise Award for Shenzhen. 2012, HQT focused on developing DMR Tier 2 series products. In 2012, HQT was awarded the National High-Tech Enterprise and Shenzhen High-Tech Enterprise. Okay, in 2014, HQT officially launched its full series of DMR Tier 2 series solutions and products to the market. In 2016, HQT is on its way to development of the DMR Tier 3 technologies and solutions and the combination of private and public networks. Here's some office pictures. Here's the facility. Okay, for whatever reason, they showed some pictures of the test equipment they use at their facility. I don't know how necessary that is to show, but signal generators, transmitter testers, I shouldn't laugh. That's disrespectful. But anyway, vector signal generator, network analyzer, HP integrated tester, spectrum analyzer, integrated tester, high-low temperature test chamber. All equipment that I have no experience using. Well, that's not entirely true. This video is not about me. But yeah, DMR is popping out at my eyes. It's listed here a bunch of times. DMR Solution R&D Center. Our DMR Solution R&D Center is located in Shenzhen, our headquarters, and has almost 40 engineers and technicians with 5 core engineers who master the core DMR technologies and the advanced industry expertise, so we can almost fulfill all the customized needs and requirements from our customers. This center is fully responsible for the developments of DMR solutions. Talked about radios. Okay, let's click on this. The Product Center, Digital Products, TI OMAP series, and the IC Platform series. Okay, I guess they're both on the same page. So these are digital repeaters. Okay, so these are very specific products. Digital repeaters, digital portable radios, dispatch system, so I guess trunking. Oh, this is just a general picture. Digital mobile radio, HQT TI OMAP series digital mobile radio. Looks like a ham radio. And here's some of the handheld commercial radios. What are they calling them? HQT IC platform series are mid-end digital two-way radios with integrated chip and are applied in commercial markets. This series is limited to be customized because of the integrated chip, so we strongly recommend our TI OMAP series to you if you have customized needs and requirements. Pretty cool. Here's the news section of the website. It was certified by the DMR Association, so you can see things in action. Okay, here's the SAMHU website. I'll just zoom in. Let me close that. Okay, SAMHU Science and Technology Corporation Limited. SAMHU is a wholesale. Sorry, I'm tired. Is a worldwide. Better start that again. SAMHU is a worldwide success digital PMR radio developer and manufacturer. The experienced team with more than 10 years have devoted most effort to develop DMR, Tetra, and PDT radio products for public safety, transportation, public utilities, enterprise and business, and commercial sectors. We understand our responsibility to support mission-critical and business-critical with robust and reliable professional mobiles. With continuous innovation spirit, we are trying our best to deliver most reliable digital PMR radio products to our partners and customers. SAMHU Company works closely with ETSI, MPS, PRC. I think this is probably the most interesting if you're watching and you're tuning in. Probably the history as well. So this is the introduce, maybe the introduction, and that's neat. Cultural activities. Oh, an employee wedding. The second anniversary of SAMHU. That happened on 2014. The first anniversary. Well, that's nice. Like a family company. I can appreciate that. Okay, history. So SAMHU became a council member of the Professional Digital Trunking System Industry Association, became a Category 1 member of the DMR Association, and looks like they got some ISO standardization. I'm familiar with that. Happens to every company around here. Upgrade, design, construction, repair of security protection system. Okay, let's look at the products. Product Center, digital PMR radio. I'll just click the general thing. Okay, close that. DMR and PDT portable SPH 6000s. This is digital trunking and analog trunking. It shows the bands, UHF and VHF. Got a repeater. Now, this is kind of similar products to HQT. Here's an antenna. That's neat, I guess. Curious to know what type of connector that is, if that's SMA or maybe you know better. You that's listening, you might know more than I do. Okay, so very quickly, here is the Sapura website. This is a very old company. Complete solutions for business and mission-critical communications. The Sapura Group is a global leader in the design, manufacture, and supply of digital radio products, systems, and applications developed specifically for business and mission-critical communications. Our complete Tetra, DMR, and LTE solutions enable users in the public safety, transport, utilities, oils, and gas manufacturing, construction, and leisure sectors to face their critical communications challenges. If you look this company up on Wikipedia, it actually has a separate article devoted to Sapura, and it's a very old company according to the history, and it goes back to the 1890s in Cambridge. And I'm not going to retell the history, but I am interested in seeing the products. How do they break this down? Overview, hand portable terminals, mobile terminals, programming tools. Let's just see what comes up here. There's the products. Okay, well, it's got an explanation. I like pictures. Handheld portables. So here's some handheld radios. I guess they've got some software applications maybe. This came up under accessories. Lots of antennas. I guess there's all categories. All accessories. Got chargers and power supplies. Controls, so you've got like an interface for like a radio, virtual consoles, so this is like software based interface, some handheld radios, mics, headphones, speakers, handheld radios, clips, accessories, motorcycle kits. Okay, so here's Simoco Wireless Solutions. Mountain Rescue England and Wales deploys Simoco DMR Tier 2 system for robust, reliable, and resilient communications. It's kind of a neat website. Talking about delivering local governments and organizations digital voice and data communication. Note to self to watch the video clip they offer here. Watch our transportation video. How Simoco XD's fully distributed IP architecture enables cost-effective, scalable, and reliable radio communications. Okay, when you hover the cursor over products, it talks about digital mobile radio, P25, analog, Tetra, simulcast, XM, pulse, voice, and data networks. Let's just click on digital mobile radio. And there's, well, I'll read this a little bit. Digital mobile radio is a digital radio standard specified for professional mobile radio, PMR, users developed by the European Telecommunications Standard Institute and first ratified in 2005. DMR operates within the existing 12.5 kHz channel spacing used in licensed and land mobile frequency bands globally and meets future regulatory requirements for 6.25 kHz channel equivalents. The Dmr Protocol covers unlicensed Tier 1, licensed conventional Tier 2, and licensed trunked Tier 3 modes of operation, although in practice, commercial application is today focused on the Tier 2 and 3 licensed categories. This is a spell check error. Our solutions. Well, I won't read that. Okay, so I'll try to leave these as links in the description below. But here's the DMR Association website. I guess you can email them and talk to them. That might be fun. Members of the DMR Association. Category 1, full members and manufacturers. Category 2, application developers, system integrators, test equipment manufacturers, test houses. And Category 3, users, regulators, and operators. So I guess that's most of us. I guess we can be members of the DMR Association and non-member partnerships. So there's a pretty huge list. I haven't counted them all yet. 3M is a member, a Linco, a Celsan, Hytera shows up, HQT, ICOM. Just trying to think of the ones that are recognizable to me. Midland Radio Corporation, Motorola, OMSC Manufacturing Association. That was interesting because I looked at the map on Wikipedia, and like Russia is not a member of the user agreement for DMR standards. I better look this up again, but they are like observant of it. RCA. So all the big names. Sapura. Okay, so once again, DMR had like different categories of members. Application developers, system integrators, test equipment manufacturers. So maybe this is like related technology kind of business, like maybe test equipment and software developers. Well, these are some of the companies. Cisco, Kodiak Networks, Orion Systems, PMR Products Limited, Sissoko. Okay, this is like the tier 3 or category 3 users, regulators, and operators. Italian Red Cross Association, Atlantic Telecommunications, SAT Data, Ports of Auckland. I better write them an email. Use that email that was provided to add 2-bit, to add my YouTube name to this list of category 3 members. Although I don't know if there's membership dues, I probably can't afford them. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that's fantastic that you made it to the end. Have a good day. Take care.